The rain hit like a slap from God, turning the dirt path into a river of mud that sucked at my boots like it wanted to drag me under. I stumbled into the clearing, heart pounding from the chase, only to see Riley silhouetted against the bonfire's dying embers, her eyes wild, a knife glinting in her hand, not for me, but for the photo of us she was about to shred. "You think you can just walk away, Harmony?" she hissed, voice cracking like the thunder overhead. "After everything I confessed? You're mine now, whether your precious Alex likes it or not." That was the moment I knew the trip was cursed. 3 days earlier, I'd packed my duffel with naive excitement, thinking a weekend in the Cascades with Alex's family would be the perfect escape from my crumbling college life. Alex, my ride or die since freshman orientation at UW Seattle, had begged me to come. "It's tradition. Harm, Mom's Smurth, Dad's terrible fishing stories, and zero cell service to force us to actually talk." She'd grinned that lopsided smile of hers, the one that always made me feel like we were invincible. Alex was 23, all freckles and boundless energy, with her blonde ponytail that never stayed put and a laugh that could defuse a bomb. We'd bonded over bad poetry slams and late-night confessions about crushes that never went anywhere, hers on boys who ghosted, mine on the girls who did the same. She didn't know I was gay yet. Hell, I was still convincing myself it wasn't just a phase. But Alex was safe, uncomplicated. That's why I said yes. The drive up from Seattle had been a dream at first. Highway 2 wound through evergreens that towered like ancient guardians, the Olympics peeking in the distance like a promise of freedom. Mr. Thompson, Alex's dad, a burly ex-logger turned high school history teacher, blasted Springsteen from the old Subaru's cassette deck, singing off-key about Born to Run glory. Mrs. Thompson, with her silver-streaked bun and perpetual apron vibe even in jeans, passed around a thermos of spike cider. "To new adventures," she toasted, her eyes crinkling with that Midwestern warmth her kids had inherited. Alex and I squeezed in the back, knees bumping, trading inside jokes about our prof's toupee. Then there was Riley, Alex's older sister, 27 and worlds apart from the family chaos. She rode shotgun, silent mostly, her green eyes fixed on the road like she was plotting a heist. Riley was the black sheep, the one who dropped out of community college to chase art in Portland's underbelly, only to wash up back home with a string of ghost jobs and a tattoo sleeve that told stories no one dared ask about. She was stunning in that effortless, dangerous way, sharp jawline, auburn hair cropped in a messy bob that framed her face like a frame around a storm cloud. Where Alex was sunshine, Riley was the eclipse. I'd met her once before, at Alex's birthday barbecue, where she'd cornered me by the grill with a beer in hand and said, "You look like trouble, Harmony." The good kind. Her voice had been low, smoky, like whiskey over ice. I'd laughed it off, cheeks burning, but that night I'd replayed it in my dorm bed, wondering what good trouble felt like under her gaze. We arrived at the site by late afternoon, Pitchfork Meadows, a hidden gem off the Stephen M. Theodore State Park Trail, where the Snoqualmie River rushed like it was late for a meeting. The air smelled of pine sap and wet earth, the kind of scent that seeps into your soul. Tents went up in a flurry, the big family one for the parents, a two-person for Alex and me, and Riley's solo rig pitched a deliberate 20 yards away, like she needed her own island. "Independence is key," she'd muttered, hammering stakes with more force than necessary. Dinner was chilly over the fire pit, stars punching through the twilight canopy. Alex dominated the conversation, reenacting her latest disastrous Tinder date with theatrical flair. He shows up in flip-flops. Harm. To a hike. We howled. But my eyes kept drifting to Riley, who picked at her bowl, smirking at the flames. When she caught me looking, she held my gaze a beat too long, her lips curving into something that wasn't quite a smile. You ever been out here before? Harmony? She'd asked, voice cutting through the laughter like a cool breeze. Nah, I admitted, poking at the embers. Grew up in Tacoma, concrete jungle. You know? Closest I got to wilderness was the Puyallup Fair. Tacoma girl. Huh, tough exterior. Soft center. Her words landed soft, but they hooked something deep in me. Alex elbowed me, oblivious. Harm's a poet. Riley. She'll write sonnets about this mud by morning. That night, as Alex snored softly beside me in the tent, zipped up in her sleeping bag like a burrito, I lay awake. The rivers murmur a restless lullaby. My mind wandered to the ache I'd been ignoring, the ex from high school who'd bailed when I tried to kiss her at prom, the hookups in Seattle that fizzled into awkward silences. Was I broken, or just waiting for the right spark? Outside, an owl hooted, and I swear I heard footsteps light, deliberate, circling our sight. I sat up, heart tripping, but when I unzipped the flap, it was just shadows dancing in the moonlight. Or so I thought. Morning broke with dew-kissed optimism. We hiked the Ridge Trail, a 5-miler that climbed to a viewpoint over the valley, where the world dropped away in greens and blues. Alex led the charge, her backpack stuffed with trail mix and optimism. Race you to the top, she'd yell, leaving me and the parents in her dust. Riley hung back, matching my pace without effort. You keep up, she said, not winded, her tank top already damp with sweat. Close. She smelled like cedar and something sharper, ambition. Maybe. Or regret. We talked as we climbed. Easy stuff at first, her failed gallery shows in Portland, my double major in English and environmental studies that felt like chasing ghosts. You write about love? She'd asked, stepping over a root, her hand brushing mine accidentally. Sometimes, I said, pulse quickening. The kind that sneaks up on you, she laughed, low and real. That's the dangerous kind. The one that makes you forget who you are. By the overlook. We were alone, the Thompsons trailing with water breaks. The view hit like a revelation. Jagged peaks cradling mist-shrouded lakes. Eagles wheeling lazy circles. Riley leaned on a boulder beside me, close enough that our shoulders touched. Beautiful, right? Makes you feel small. Alive. Her fingers grazed my arm, tracing a scar from a childhood bike wreck. What's this story? I swallowed. The air thick. Fell hard. Learned to get back up. Her eyes met mine, green as the valley below. I could use someone like that. And then, soft as a secret, she leaned in, her lips brushing my cheek. Not quite a kiss, but enough to ignite the dry tinder in my chest. I froze, electricity zipping through me. But before I could respond, Alex's whoop echoed up the trail. Riley pulled back, winking. Our little secret. Poet girl. The rest of the day blurred in a haze of stolen glances. Canoeing on the river, where Riley accidentally splashed me, her laughter pulling me under. Foraging for berries with the group, her hand lingering on mine as we plucked the ripest ones. By evening, around the fire, I was hooked. reeling from the thrill of her attention. The way she saw me, really saw me, in a way Alex never had. Alex, sweet Alex, chattered on about constellations, oblivious to the heat building between her sister and me. That second night, I couldn't sleep. The tent felt too small. Alex's breathing a reminder of the line I was towing. Slipping out, I wrapped a hoodie around me and wandered to the riverbank, moonlight silvering the water. Footsteps crunched behind me, Riley, in shorts and a thermal that hugged her curves. Her hair tousled from the wind. Knew you'd be out here, she said, sitting close on a log. Trouble sleeping? Too much thinking. I hugged my knees, the chill seeping in. She draped her jacket over my shoulders, warm from her body, scented with her. About me. I met her gaze, bold now in the dark. Maybe what followed was inevitable, a slow unraveling under the stars. Her hand on my thigh, tentative at first, then sure. Whispers turning to confessions, her string of heartbreaks in Portland, girls who'd used her for the thrill then vanished. I'm done being the rebound, she'd said fiercely. I want real. You feel real. Harmony. Our kiss was fire urgent, tasting of blackberries in desperation. Her hands in my curls, mine tracing the vines on her skin, the world narrowing to the press of her against me. We didn't go further, not with the family tent so close, but it was enough. More than enough. For the first time, I felt seen, desired, whole. But dawn brought the first crack in the facade. Alex cornered me by the coffee pot. Her eyes narrowed. What's with you and Riley? You're all glowy. She punched my arm, playful but edged. Don't tell me my sister's corrupting you. I laughed it off. Heat rising. Just the fresh air. Lex. She studied me, then shrugged. Good. She's got baggage. Harm. Trust me, stay clear. Her words lingered like smoke as we packed for the day's hike. A loop through Devil's Backbone with its sheer drops and whispered legends of lost hikers. Riley pulled me aside before we started. Last night, she touched my wrist, thumb circling. It wasn't just the woods. It's you. My stomach flipped. Alex suspects something. Let her. This is us. Her kiss was quick, fierce, sealing the pact. The trail was brutal. Switchbacks clawing up sheer rock faces. The river a distant roar below. Midway, at a narrow ledge, disaster struck. Mr. Thompson twisted his ankle on loose gravel, swearing like a sailor as he went down. Chaos erupted, Mrs. Thompson digging for the first aid kit. Alex sprinting for signal to call rangers. Riley and I stayed with him, her hand steady as she splinted the injury with branches and duct tape. You're a natural, I murmured, admiring her calm. Comes with practice, she said tightly, avoiding my eyes. Later, as we helped him hobble back, the hike aborted, I caught her staring at the drop-off, something haunted in her expression. You okay? Fine. But she wasn't. That night, with Mr. Thompson's leg elevated in the family tent and the parents turning in early, Alex dragged me to the fire for girl talk. Riley joined, a bottle of bourbon liberated from her pack. The alcohol loosened tongues, Alex spilling about her fears of post-grad life, me skirting my own doubts. Riley watched, quiet, until the fire died low. Then, to Alex, Remember that summer in Spokane? When you ditched me for that asshole Chad? Alex stiffened. Ancient history. Why bring it up? Because you always pick the wrong ones. Like now. Riley's voice slurred slightly. Eyes flicking to me. Stealing my friends. Alex laughed. Uncomfortable. Harm's not yours to steal. She's family. Riley's face twisted. Family. Right. She stood abruptly, storming to her tent. I followed minutes later, slipping in under the pretense of checking on her. The space was cramped, lantern light casting shadows on her sleeping bag. She was crying silent, shoulders shaking. Riley. I knelt, hand on her back. She turned, eyes red-rimmed. She doesn't get it. Any of it. Dad's accident last year, the logging rig flip, left him broken, and Mom pretends it's fine. Alex buries it in parties. I see it. Harmony. The cracks. Her voice broke. And you. You're the first light I've seen in years. I pulled her close, our bodies fitting like puzzle pieces. That night, we crossed the line slow, reverent, her touches mapping me like sacred ground. Whispers of I love you in the dark. Too soon but true. Afterward, tangled in her arms, she confessed more, the real reason she'd come home. I got mixed up with a girl in Portland, bad scene. She was married, violent when drunk. I left, but she followed. That's why I'm jumpy. The knife? Protection. My heart ached for her. You're safe here. With me. She kissed my forehead. Promise. Dawn came too soon. Packing feverish with Mr. Thompson's injury forcing an early exit. But as we broke camp, Alex pulled me into the trees. Swear to God. Harm, if Riley's messing with your head, tell me. She's got issues. Nothing's messing, I lied. Guilt twisting. But the drive down was tense, Riley silent in front, Alex texting furiously beside me. Halfway, at a roadside diner for burgers, Riley excused herself to the bathroom. She didn't come back for 20 minutes. When she did, her face was ashen, phone clutched white-knuckled. What? I'm out. Her, she whispered later, in the parking lot while the others paid. She texted. Knows I'm here. Says she'll come for me. Fear iced my veins. We go to the cops. No. Riley's grip bruised. She'd spin it, make me the villain. Just stay close. I nodded. But the terror had rooted. Back home, the real storm brewed, not the weather kind, but the kind that rips families apart. We dropped Mr. Thompson at the ER in Everett for x-rays, the sterile lights buzzing like angry hornets. Alex paced the waiting room, scrolling Yelp for the best post-trauma ice cream, her way of coping. Riley vanished into the vending machine glow, emerging with a candy bar she didn't eat. Hovered, torn, wanting to hold her hand, knowing one glance from Alex would shatter everything. The fracture was hairline. Good news wrapped in crutches and a 6-week sidelining. No more macho hikes for you. Han, Mrs. Thompson teased. But her eyes were weary. Driving the last leg to Seattle, rain sheeting the windshield, Riley's phone buzzed incessantly. She silenced it, jaw set. In the rear view, our eyes met, hers pleading. mine promising. At Alex's drop-off, she hugged me tight. Text me later? Debrief. Always. But as I waved goodbye, Riley lingered by the car, mouthing, "Tonight." My apartment in Capitol Hill was a shoebox sanctuary, posters of Audre Lorde and Nina Simone peeling at the edges, a windowsill herb garden wilting from neglect. I showered off the woods, the hot water sluicing away mud but not the memory of Riley's skin against mine. Pacing in towel and underwear, I drafted a dozen texts. Miss you already. Safe. Sent the simplest. Home. You okay? Her reply barely. Can I come over? Heart slamming. I buzzed her up 20 minutes later. She arrived windswept, in a leather jacket that smelled of rain and rebellion, crashing into my arms like a wave. We didn't speak at first, just kissed. Hungry. The door barely shut. She tasted of mint and fear. Her hands urgent as they stripped my towel, backing me toward the bed. Need you, she gasped. And I gave everything. The room filling with our sighs. The city hum fading to nothing. After, sprawled in sheets that tangled like our secrets, she traced my collarbone. That ex-Lena. She's unhinged. Tracked my job apps. Showed up at my bar shift last month with bruises she claimed I gave her. Her voice hollowed. Cops didn't believe me. Said it was he said. She said. I ran because I couldn't fight anymore. Rage boiled in me for her. For the system that failed her. You're not running now. We'll figure it. A knock shattered the quiet. Sharp. Insistent. Riley bolted upright, eyes wide. Don't answer. But it came again. Muffled. Harmony? It's Alex. Open up. I know you're in there. Panic clawed. Riley dressed in a frenzy, slipping out the fire escape while I stalled, yelling through the chain. Wanna say shower? Alex's voice pitched higher. Come on. I brought Ty. And I need to vent about Riley's bullshit. Cracked the door. Dripping fake wet hair. Forcing a grin. Enter. You menace. We devoured Pad CW on my couch. Her venting about the hospital wait times. Me nodding along. Guilt gnawing. Then, casual as a grenade, saw Riley's car outside. She drop you. My fork paused. Yeah, quick coffee run. Why? She speared a broccoli floret like it owed her money. She's been weird all weekend. Staring at you like you're her next canvas. Just watch out. Harm. After Dad's accident, she spiraled. Therapy dropout. Bad crowds. I love her. But she's a hurricane. I swallowed lies. I'm good. Lex. Promise. She left at midnight. Hugging fierce. You're my rock. You know that. Alone. I texted Riley clear. But Alex suspects. Her reply chilled. Let her. We're worth it. The next week blurred into stolen moments. Coffee at Vivace where her foot hooked mine under the table. A midnight walk in Volunteer Park where we carved our initials into a cedar. Giggling like kids. Texts that scorched my screen with poetry I wrote in the margins of lectures. Harmony and Riley. A secret symphony. Notes building to crescendo. I came out to myself fully in her arms, whispering I'm gay like a prayer. She held me through tears, murmuring, welcome home. Love. But shadows lengthened. Lena's texts escalated. Screenshots Riley showed me in hushed diner booths. I see you with her. Slut. You'll pay. Riley changed her number, but paranoia seeped in. She flinched at car backfires, scanned crowds like a hawk. It's nothing, she'd insist. But her kisses turned desperate, clinging. Alex noticed. Our weekly trivia night at the Pike Place bar turned interrogative. You're distant, she accused over IPAs. Her blue eyes hurt. Is it a girl? Spill, I won't judge. I deflected with a joke about my prof's beard. But the seed planted. Guilt festered. Riley was her sister. My friend. Betrayal brewed. Slow poison. The breaking point hit Friday. 2 weeks post-camping. Alex texted. Family dinner tomorrow. Mom's lasagna. Bring your A game. I agreed. Stealing for the minefield. Riley cornered me pre-class. Don't go. Or go. But tell them. Us. I can't, not like this. Her face hardened. Then what are we? Harmony. Your side hustle. Words failed. I stormed off. Syllabus crumpling in my fist. Dinner was a powder keg. The Thompson split level in Shoreline smelled of garlic and normalcy. Crockpot bubbling. Mr. Thompson's crutches propped like sentinels. Alex greeted me with a bear hug. Riley with a glare over wine glasses. Small talk flowed. Dad's rehab jokes. Mom's garden woes. Then, postmain. Plates cleared. Riley stood, glass raised. Voice steady. I have something to say. Eyes on me. Harmony and I. We're together. Silence imploded. Alex choked on her tiramisu. What the actual fuck? It's real, Riley pressed. Hand finding mine under the table. I've loved her since the woods. Mrs. Thompson blinked. Processing. Mr. Thompson cleared his throat. As long as you're happy. Kiddo. But Alex erupted. Happy? You stole my best friend. After everything, your drama. Lena's calls I answered for you last month. She whirled on me. You lied. Both of you. Lena. Echoed. Gut-dropping. Riley's hand yanked away. Alex's face crumpled. She called the house. Crying said Riley attacked her. I told her to fuck off. But got harm. I thought you knew. Riley bolted, chair scraping. Door slamming. I chased into the rain-lashed night. Finding her by the garage. Sobbing against the hood. Why didn't you tell me she called? Because it's lies, she snarled. All of it, to trap me. Then why hide it? Thunder rolled. Because you'd leave. Like everyone. I grabbed her shoulders. I'm here. But no more secrets. She kissed me then, fierce. Salt water on lips. I swear. But swears are fragile. That night. Alone in my bed. My phone lit with Alex's voicemails. How could you call me? I drafted apologies. Deleted them. Dawn brought Riley at my door. Eyes puffy. Truce. She held coffee. Hopeful. We tried mornings tangled. Afternoons exploring Seattle's underbelly. Her street art hunts in the ID. My poetry readings where she'd cheer loudest. Alex ghosted. Texts unanswered. A void that echoed. 3 weeks in. The agenda unveiled itself. Not in screams. But whispers. Riley's errand stretched longer. Her phone. Once open. Now password. One night. Post-love. She slept deep. I checked her messages. A thread with an unknown. Portland next week? Miss our games. L. Heart in throat. I confronted her at dawn. Who's L? She woke startled, then deflated. Lena. It's nothing. Closure meet. Lies again. Rage boiled. After the camping promise? It's not. She reached. I recoiled. You're using me. To hide from her. From yourself. Tears streaked her face. I love you. Harmony. That's real. But love twisted as a blade. I left. Door clicking like a guillotine. The fallout was biblical. Plagues of silence. Locusts of doubt devouring what remained. Alex blocked me on everything. Her final text a gut punch. Family first. Don't contact. I wandered Seattle like a ghost. Pike Place's fishmongers hawking salmon to blur faces. The Space Needles I mocking my smallness. Classes blurred. Chaucer sonnets mocking my shattered heart. I wrote feverishly. Elegies to Riley's touch. Indictments of my blindness. She was eclipse. I the sun blinded by her shadow. Riley's pleas bombarded. Voicemails raw with regret. Flowers wilting on my stoop. Let me explain. Please. I deleted. But weakness won one rainy Tuesday. We met at Alki Beach. Waves gnashing like accusations. She looked wrecked, hair unkempt. Jacket frayed. Lena's dangerous. But I was ending it. That meet was to say goodbye for good. With me as your alibi, bitterness laced my words. No, she stepped close. Rain mingling with tears. You were my anchor. The one thing true. We kissed in the downpour desperate. A drowning grasp. Back at hers. A cramped Fremont walk-up scented with turpentine and takeout. We fell into bed. Bodies begging forgiveness words couldn't grant. Stay, she whispered after. Fingers laced in mine. Build with me. I stayed, nights bleeding into weeks. A fragile rebuild. We cooked vegan stir-fries. Argued over vinyl, her punk. My soul. Dreamed of a road trip down the PCH. Alex thawed slightly. A stiff coffee at Lupanier. Her eyes wary. If you hurt her. Harmony. Unspoken, like she hurt me. But Lena's shadow loomed. Packages arrived and signed. Scrawled notes thief. Riley burned them. But fear etched deeper. Move in, she urged one night. Post-nightmare where she thrashed. Crying my name. We face it together. I hesitated, my lease? My independence, but love whispered yes. Boxes packed. I crossed the bridge to her world. The camping trips echo haunted. Though. In quiet moments. I'd flash to the riverbank. Her confession under stars. Was it real? Or camouflage? Truth detonated mid-October. Leaves turning fire orange like warnings ignored. Alex called, voice trembling. Harm. Get to Harborview. Now. Riley's hurt. Traffic clotted like blood. I arrived panting to her chaos, beeping monitors. Bleach sting. Alex in the hall. Mascara rivers. Stabbing. Lena ambushed her outside the co-op. Knife to the gut. Guilt crushed, my fault. For pushing closure. Inside. Riley pale on starched sheets. For dripping. Wound stitched but soul frayed. Her eyes lit seeing me. You came. Always. I clasped her hand. Cool and trembling. Cops came, statements. Lena's arrest, prior record. They said. But as machines hummed. Riley confessed the unconfessed. The agenda. It wasn't just Lena. Back in the woods. I saw you with Alex laughing. Close. Jealousy hit like lightning. I wanted to steal you. Prove I could win something she couldn't. Betrayal stung fresh. You played me. No, started that way. But it turned real. You turned it real. Tears spilled. Forgive. I searched her face. The girl who'd kissed me under eagles. Held me through storms. We both played. But yeah. We heal. Recovery was gruel. Hospital vigils. Alex and I trading shifts in uneasy alliance. Mom brought quilts, Dad. Bad puns. One night. All four of us crammed in, Riley propped. Us orbiting like planets realigned. I'm sorry, she told Alex. For the theft. For the secrets. Alex squeezed her foot. Dumbass. We're sisters. Messy. But stuck. Me and friends. All of us. Discharge brought tentative normal. Riley's apartment now ours. Scars fading like old tattoos. Therapy for her, group for survivors. Me tagging along. We hiked easy trails. No knives but pocket ones for peace. Love rebuilt. Brick by vulnerable brick. Lazy Sundays with Nina on the turntable. Poetry slams where I read of eclipses yielding to dawn. Winter solstice. We drove back to the meadows, snow-dusted. River hushed. No family. Just us. By the fire. Marshmallows toasting slow. Riley pulled a ring, simple silver. Vines etched. Not marriage. Promise. To face shadows together. I slipped it on. Tears freezing on lashes. Yes. Alex texted later. Proud of you both. Brunch Sunday? We laugh. The sound echoing into the night, 3 hooks released. A story unbound. In America's wild heart. We'd found ours, scarred. But beating strong. Human. After all.